So I have with me Tim Walter. Tim does something different and very interesting. For the last 4 or 5 years, he's been helping people to identify environmental problems in their homes and in their workplaces that affect their health and well-being. And he also helps them to deal with those issues as well. Sometimes those health issues may show up as things like lack of sleep or headaches, depression or fatigue. And Tim's award-winning reports and workshops and coaching help people to understand the energy of those spaces that they occupy in their homes and in their workplaces and in the land, in the places that they're built on, as well as the surrounding environment. And his clients can then understand the subtle energies that are affecting them moment to moment. And of course, they can then enhance the good, and they can also negate the not so great. What I'd really like to talk to Tim about today, though, is Tim is building a wonderful YouTube following, and he's also using our review service and combining those two things. So what I'd like to talk to Tim about are exactly those two things just now. So Tim, I know you've had a website for a number of years, and you were selling those products and services online before reviews. Before you were using reviews, tell us how everything was going for you.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose I've been doing what I'm doing now for in total about 6 years or so. And to start with, things were very, very slow. You know, I mean, I myself was going through a big life change. So I was spending a lot of time finding my feet and trying to work out how I was going to promote what it was I was going to be doing in terms of life coaching and sort of that sort of intuitive aspect of helping people through problems in lives. And really, it took a while to kind of get some substance to understanding my individual process for what I was offering. And business was slow, to put it politely.
Okay.
Start with.
All right. So business was slow to start with. But when you put reviews in place onto your website, when you started live streaming them direct into your website, what was the immediate impact?
What was really interesting was that it actually had an effect that I didn't expect, which it had an effect for me as somebody presenting my services to the public, to the general public, to the world out there. That was one of giving me confidence. And what I realized was, of course, is that is exactly what people coming to the website were looking for anyway. They were looking for confidence in what they were going to get, what service they were going to get from me, because very often the sort of work that I'm involved in with people, they are at the end of their tether, and they quite often have lost their trust in their own ability to make sensible decisions and to have good assessments of new situations. So it made a big difference just having past, recommendations there that clearly were, supporting the sort of stuff that I did. I mean, it really did make a difference.
I can remember quite soon after you put reviews onto your webpage, you sent an email in to me. I don't know if you remember it. Like, this thing you've been talking about, it really works, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I think I had three leads in one afternoon, which was at that time was a complete surprise to me. And I have to say that I really do put my faith in the reviews process. That helped hugely, and I'm sure it did actually have a big bearing on that. I would actually just like to add that, I mean, I do have people coming to me and they do express the fact that they are impressed by the reviews that are there. That definitely, that in their opening email, it is there, which is terrific.
Okay.
So,
thank you for sharing that. Because the next question I was going to ask you actually is about the long-term impact of having reviews. Because we're not just with Tim, just explain to everyone, you're not someone who's new to this. You've had reviews in place now, probably I think for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So we're able to sort of look back and say, okay, so what's been the impact over the last few years for you? And what you've just already told me is actually quite revealing, because you're having people saying that they're seeing what's on your website, and that's giving them that confidence and trust in you and making you credible in their eyes, as well as obviously seeing you on your YouTube videos and reading your
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, really, the growth has occurred in unison with the way that the YouTube channel has developed, because obviously I'm getting far more visitors. I mean, I don't want to precede whatever questions you've got, but I'm getting far more questions, far more visitors to my website now than I ever was. And what I've actually realised is that because of the amount of response I'm getting from people saying, I've read your reviews, I'd like to do some work with you, I realise how important it is for me to get reviews from people. So in other words, as part of my client process, I'm rather late in the day, it has to be said, actually now asking people for would they please leave a review, because we do most of the reviews that are actually on my website at the moment are reviews that have come without me asking for them. So they are, completely free-flowing reviews. Now I just simply ask at a certain stage or towards the end of working with the client, would they mind leaving a review? They're usually very, very happy to do so. It's then a question of whether they remember to actually leave that review.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So what I'd like to do is just show everyone how everything is working for Tim. I'm just going to share my screen. Hopefully you can see that. Tim, can you see the screen?
Yeah, I can actually.
Okay, so this is Tim's page on Total Wellness Club. So you can see here all the wonderful work that Tim does with his geomancy reports. You can obviously see the pricing that Tim has as well. And coming down here, you can see he's got 5-star reviews. He's got 12 people who have left reviews. We can see the most recent one was about a week ago. Here we can also see what people are saying about him in the headline, fabulous mentor. And then there's obviously the review story. And then we've got the thumbs up or thumbs down. No thumbs downs here for you, Tim. All thumbs up. So these are people who have read the reviews and have found them helpful in their buying process. And we can see down here all of Tim's sort of scores and reviews. So that's how it looks on Total Wellness Club's page. And we just flip over here to Tim's page. This is Tim's services page on his website. So we can see the sort of reports. We can see what Tim's got on offer and what price. We can see that he's got various options from, say, £48 up to 410. Then he's got other options further down here in terms of the coaching packages he offers. And then you can see here, you can see Total Wellness Club's reviews being live streamed direct into his website. So all of the reviews that you were just seeing a moment ago on Total Wellness Club are now streamed right through onto Tim's website. So Tim hasn't ever got to go to his website and think about updating any testimonials. They are all automatically live streamed here. He just has to get into that process of asking people and continue that process of asking people to leave reviews for him, and everything just happens very naturally. So just wanted to share the way that works. Tim, one of the things I think this will be really interesting for people to know about as well is one of the things you're focused on is your lead generation through YouTube. Would you mind just sharing with people a little bit about what you're doing and how things are working?
Well, YouTube actually proved to be a natural channel, if you like, for the marketing for lead generation. I was for 30 plus years a filmmaker, a video maker, working for business and pitching ideas to TV and this sort of thing and running conferences. So picking up a camera towards the end of that time was something I did quite regularly. I said earlier on that I went through the life change, and now obviously I'm doing this geomancy work, and there are various reasons for why. But I changed my business, if you like. But in part of that life change, what I did actually initially was completely abandon all of the television type connections that I had. So I thought, well, I'm not going to need this camera anymore, put it away. But clearly, as life usually shows us, what we've learned in the early days is always useful as we get older. And what was very obvious was that there's a massive demand, a massive hunger for information, quality information, reliable information, common sense information about the sort of work that I do from the general public. And YouTube is an absolutely brilliant platform for getting some of that information out there. So I talk about dowsing, I talk about subtle energies, I talk about the way that quantum physics may sort of have a bearing on consciousness, these sort of things. So I try to counterbalance the very I've used the word metaphysical sort of mind-body connection with the very, very practical scientific sort of stuff as well, as far as I can, without it coming across as pseudoscience. It's great to get people's reaction on YouTube. It's not a very useful platform in terms of actually developing conversation. YouTube has its failings in the terms of the way that its comment section works. But if you're happy using a camera like I am, and one learns to kind of talk to camera and do these things, then actually it's a great platform for generating leads. But you do have to do some research and understand the way that the AI platform within YouTube actually works and the way it responds to how you as a content creator interact with it, because that's quite crucial to success.
Yeah. Now your following is building nice and steadily right now. You can almost predict month to month, because I know you've been sharing the figures with me, that it seems to be growing by about 100 roughly every month.
Well, it's about 100 a week at the moment.
100 a week. Wow.
Yeah, we're up to 1,800 or so subscribers.
Wow, that's amazing. And from that's producing a nice steady trickle of leads for you as well.
Yeah, it is a steady trickle, and it is a trickle, but that's what we expect from a big platform like YouTube. You know, the numbers are mind-blowing, the amount of users that use it. Those that then follow through and contact me with inquiries about whether I might be able to help them is a very, very tiny fraction of those, those 1,800, those 100 a week. It's a tiny fraction. It's a 0.something%. But for the sort of work that I'm doing, that's okay, because actually the conversion rate on those leads is pretty high now.
Yeah. So just so that everyone can just sort of follow through, I think what's happening really with your channel, Tim, is that you're giving people great content on YouTube. They're interested to know more. So then they come onto your website. They're reading more about what you do and how you do it. They're seeing you do reports. They're seeing that you're doing coaching and mentoring. And then they're interested and they're curious. They see the reviews in place. So now they can see proof, at which point they can either book something with you or they can contact you and have a discussion with you. And from there, they're into your sales funnel, if you like. Yeah. So that's pretty much how it's working, isn't it? Yeah.
That's exactly how it's working.
Okay. Fantastic. I just wanted to explain that because I just wanted people to be able to see the process that you've created. And like you say, you don't want 1,800 people all wanting to buy from you in a month. But I suspect, what will happen is those people will be following you for a while. Confidence will grow over time. All of the information is already there for them. And it's just about those people getting into the right place, as in something happens in their life or something you say triggers them a little bit further and they think, actually, I really need to talk to Tim or have one of his reports. So it's just really a matter of time before that number of leads grows again for you.
Yeah, the other thing I would add to that in terms of talking specifically about the reviews, to me, it seems really important that the reviews are on the My Services page. You don't want them anywhere else on the website. People are going to that page, looking at what is it you do, and therefore there's the reinforcement at the bottom of the page from you guys.
Yeah, what it actually is it's the next natural question that they have. They've seen you on YouTube and you've seen Credible. And they've read what you do and it seems good, but does it work? And then the next thing is they've got that social proof element then that this really does work.